in my humble opinion, that Kim specifically is swimming in money from all the deals they've had over the past 5 years before it all came to pass. Like, I
Well,
feel like they had a good racket going and it got broken up, and they are not happy about it right
well,
now.
I should then maybe mention, hey, I don't know if this is public knowledge yet, Kim, but do you want to explain why you're only getting involved with companies now that are brand new, up and coming companies, because the other ones won't hire you anymore? Oops. I mean,
That is,
Sony said bye bye.
Sony did say bye bye, allegedly.
Oh,
That is,
as I said, Smash, I trust this source 100%. Obviously, take it as a rumor, but I trust the source 100%. So,
no, and I trust you 100% too, but I'll take it as a rumor just because you never know. But I'm just saying, even still, no matter what, I'm just saying you never know. You never know.
yep.
Um, but so the future of Sweet Baby Inc. is new game companies only. What would incentivize a new game company to sign on with them?
Well, because
Advertising?
I believe that there's a avenue here, and I'm going to bring up the Games for Diversity connection leading into a couple companies that are literally what they do is they schedule events. And a couple of these events recently with them have been for the PAL group and been for Sweet Baby. There have been some Sweet Baby Inc. events in the past. I believe they're advocating through these other groups and getting these new up and coming people who are making games who probably aren't as tapped in to the current culture and stuff. Think about it. Bigger companies aren't going to want to because they're going to say, oh, well, we look up Sweet Baby Inc., we get a bazillion videos. I don't want to deal with this. But a new company that's like, hey, we're Bandit Brothers and we're making our first game and they need help. And they're like, oh, we have a consultancy for you. They're not going to go online and find all these things. They're probably not that knowledgeable. So it's easier for them to slip into those things.
So at the same time, too, in addition to that, they could also look at Sweet Baby Inc. even coming up as a new company, knowing the bad reputation, almost like a weird, like Gerard the
Bonus for them.
Completionist. What's that?
It could be a bonus for them too, because they might look at it as like positive.
Right. Well, I was gonna say like a Gerard the Completionist Indie Land type thing, where they could like use whatever Sweet Baby Inc. and the Powell Group and whatever are putting on for the events to promote their game.
Correct. That's what they do. These companies, and one of them, I'm going to name drop a name, Menno Monster, who's Mr. Menno Van Pelt Dean, who is the one of the persons in charge of Games for Diversity. That's why they were very angry that I was exposing that, is because they make events where they literally have a bunch of brand new developers all come together and showcase their games together. That's what they do.
I think you just hit on the future of how Sweet Baby Inc. is going to try to survive.
Oh,
And that
100%.
right, it's going to be through promotions and events. And
Correct.
then
That's what they've
and
been
then
already doing. They've been coming. What I can tell you that there's been a couple events that they've put on by the Powell Group, and I've been made aware. I can't say for certain, so take it as a rumor. But I've
Mhm.
been made aware that it's not just Powell Group people. So
And then by putting on the events, these indie developers will go to them, get their free promotion of the games or whatever, and then somehow meet with Kim Belair and sign on with them through that.
yes, because think about it this way: if you're a person who's coming in with your game, and let's say it's not finished yet, let's say you have a prototype, let's say you have whatever, and you come in and a bunch of other games, getting feedback from a bunch of other game developers is a great idea. It's a great concept.
Mhm.
However, if it's all fledgling developers and none of them are experienced and none of them whatever, it might not be as helpful. But if you have people there with experience, for example, if Kim comes in there and says, "Oh, I have this much experience in the game industry. You might know about me. My company is this, and I see your game's this, and we can help you advocate with this, and well, you could pay us this amount, and we can help you market it to this place. We can connect you because Sweet Baby Inc. Has connections. So does, for example, Wings Interactive. They had connections with Netflix and all these other companies. They'll say, "Hey,
And
hire us,
Microsoft,
and yeah,
Microsoft.
hire us, and we will get you in the door with these other companies."
Yes, especially Microsoft, because 'cause weren't they with
Exactly.
Compulsion Games, and that's owned by Microsoft, and that was a Sweet
I'm
Baby
not
Inc. game?
100% sure, but I do know that I know more about Wings because they're not very happy with me. They've never recovered, by the way.
Oh,
Never.
right. No, I know. I
No,
know.
they literally have only one social media that's active.
It goes to show how quick they are to hide. It's probably a direct correlation to how much money they're making and don't want the good thing to end. So they're
Yep.
like, lock it all down, let this blow over, and let's get back to it when this guy goes away.
Yeah, but to close this, because I know we want to finish this off. To
Yeah,
close
yeah.
this, basically, you're right. What they're doing is they're going to these events, and they're probably doing it. And again, this is my speculation, but they're doing it under the label of the PAL Group or other companies, and they're there and they're offering their experience, and they're also offering their connections. And think about it: if you're a new developer who's making your first game, and someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, pay me X amount, and I will get you in the door with Sony or Microsoft or whatever," and you're a
Well,
fledgling new
for a
developer,
small
you'll
well,
do it.
for a smaller developer, it might not always be just a straight up pay me X amount. It might be just a contract of percentage of game sales or
True, that could be as
another.
well.
Yep, yep. So it's curious. It's curious the future, and maybe it's just a numbers game. Maybe they're just hoping for their own Schedule 1 breakout where they just need one to hit and they're good forever.
I've
So
just noticed that it's a trend lately with them is that all the games that I'm finding that either I know that they work on or suspect that they work on, because there's plenty of them that I suspect they work on. All of them are like fledgling new studios that are like, this is our first or second game. So
and none of the games have any kind of chance of actually being good. They're
yeah,
just
there's one
generic.
that they're hiding very well. For some reason, they really don't want people to know about this one. And I mentioned we made a video on it, but it didn't get as much attention as the Crush House one. Is the Zix one? Is that's a big one? They specifically, because I had to infiltrate their Discord to do that, and I found 4 members of Sleep Baby Inc. in there with narrative credits listed on them, and they removed them. And they removed all their credits. So literally, they just are in the Discord now, but have no labels on them at all. So they're very very much trying not to make noise. So
That's crazy. I think I'll leave this here and say
mhm.
this is the future of Sweet Baby Inc. This is exact because they know the
Yep,
old
they know
thing wasn't
they
working.
can't just do what they used to do.
Yep, yep. And that's crazy. Great call. Great call.
Of game purchases. When you look at like how many games are sold versus what kind of Gamergate stuff kind of pops up, it's not like it's like a one for one thing. And I think that the thing that
Take a shot every time she says Gamergate. By the way,
No, I would
always
say take a shot every time she says DEI, even though she claims at the beginning that it wasn't
not a
DEI.
DEI company. Right, right.
it's like if you're going to try to pull off a heist positive, there's going to be cops, right? People are going to try to stop you. People are going to try to
Wait.
Positive.
She's saying that that what she's doing, she's insinuating that what they're doing is like pulling off a heist, and gamer gators are cops. So does that mean that we're the good guys and you're the bad guys?
Yes, and that's what I
Except
just heard. That's why. Did you see my eyes when she said that? I was like, what?
it's very funny.
Oh my god.
against it. And I think that the only thing that I have to remind people of that is to remember what we are fighting for, and that ultimately, if we are going to make art, we are always going to be pushing against a tide, right? And it is only interesting that we do so. And so I think the reality is that we cannot respond to all this abuse with silence and with fear, or it effectively works. If you
But
can disappear
that's
somebody,
what you're doing.
Right? Isn't she the one that said make them terrify them like multiple times?
But she's also saying now that you can't be quiet with these abuse, and then yet I can tell you there is a this is not speculation. This is knowledge. There is a public hush order. Don't make any noise. Don't say anything. Don't post anything. Don't attack anybody.
Just stay the course.
Keep head down. Keep working. That's all it is. It's
Wow.
all businesses go at Sweet Baby Inc. and no noise, no nothing. Don't do anything.
because you don't like the way that they look and you don't think they should be here. And you can say, well, we're not going to allow black devs or devs to appear in front of the camera. All you're doing is creating a world in which the only people who are going to be shown are going to be like anyone who is not marginalized, right? And that is not a world that we can stand to create. And so I think that it comes down, unfortunately, to having to acknowledge our humanity in this and to decide whether we are going to create art and creative project or whether we are going to try to sell a tech product to people whose expectations will never be met by anything that we care about, right? We are always
You hear what she said? We want to sell something to customers that they don't care about. They need to buy what we care about.
Exactly. She's. I love this. This happens in the 2023 one too. Is that she undermines her own points just by talking?
Right, right. I'm like listening to her. She's drowning on, and then says that. I'm just like, wait, what? We need to buy your slop, and you'll just
You're gonna hate this. You won't like this. Please buy it.
please buy it. And if you're not, you're a bigot.
If we are always going to ask how high when the worst people say jump, we will be caught in that forever. And so it does. I think it's very
Who are the worst people in her mind, do you think?
The cops, clearly.
Gotcha.
very hard, especially in this current moment, to stand up against anything, because God knows that we get hundreds of emails all the time about how we have ruined games by making them woke. And
Do you get any emails from anyone talking about the former employers getting called by your employees? Because I sent you guys an email. You never responded to me about that when you called my old job. Any thoughts on that one, Kim?
They don't care. I can tell you though that Kim is not that decision not to respond to you and not to do something about that was very pushed back on, very much.
What was the other option? To respond to me?
A lot of people were very much advocating for, hey, you need to get rid of Chris right away. You need to get rid of him. And it took way too long, according to what I've been told.
Interesting. Yeah, because when that situation happened, that's one of those, you don't cross that line. That was insanity. That was like when Alyssa contacted my wife, and I was like, man, any company that I've ever seen would fire the person on the spot if they found out that people were doing that kind of shit online. And she stayed at Kotaku for how many months after that, which was wild, but
this is the meat and potatoes of this. We're finally getting some of Kim responding to stuff, how things are going. It's like it took this
the
long.
last 3 minutes of it.
I think that it is always tempting to say, okay, well, we'll just hide that thing that we do. We have to hide it. But if everybody's going to play in our faces, you have to play in theirs, right? And I think that it's important to now.
The guy next to her is just on his phone the whole time, by the way.
Wait, I want to say something. Hey, Kim, we know you're watching. You're saying you want to go in our faces, right? You're saying you don't want to ever come on a stream. Let's chat. Come on. You just said you want to do it publicly. You don't want to let it. Come have a talk with us.
Oh, she would never chat with us because.
But why not? She just made it clear that she would want to do that. So she
knows that her career and job is not one that is needed. And it's easy to destroy whatever she's trying to stand on by just saying what you're doing is not what people want to buy. Why do you keep doing it?
Well, I know, and I'm saying this with knowledge as well. I have 100% confirmation that I know that they've watched some of our videos, and the reason I know is because a relative of one of the people who we covered reached out to us and said so, and I verified who they are. But I will say this, Kim, the best thing for you to do now, and you won't do it, would be to, I know it would probably ruin things, but if you came on and hadn't actually tried to have a genuine discussion with people, I think actually you'd probably win over more people than you would turn away. I don't think you're capable of doing any of this kind of stuff, but I think that if you did, you would.
We've seen how she talks on her feet.
Exactly.
It's not pretty.
That's why she doesn't do it.
Right.
Now more than ever, say what we believe and not treat it like an opinion that can be changed by anger. And that's kind of where I stand.
You know, crazy fact is that like Black Panther is like one of the top 5 selling movies of all time. That's crazy, right? It made a lot of money. A cast of all black characters. I'm not saying there's a connection here, but like there's a market, right? So like,
oh my god, he is so oblivious. It's so ridiculous. He's so dumb. Does he not realize that Black Panther did make money not just because of black characters, but because it was a good movie? It was a well-created movie. You can't just go, here's all black people, it'll make money. No, that's not how it works. You've seen evidence of this over and over and over again, and you refuse to accept it.
Top making movies of all time. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Avatar. Number 1. Avengers Endgame. Avatar, Away the Water. Damn. Titanic. James Cameron's on here 3 times out of the 4. Wow. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Avengers Infinity War. Spider-Man No Way Home. Ni Za 2?
Never heard of that one.
It's a Chinese movie.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about it.
Inside Out 2. Jurassic World. The Lion King. I don't see Black Panther Black Panther's all the way down at 21. He said it's in the top 5.
So we clearly this guy reads articles about about professionalism and white supremacy. So I really don't take his I don't think he's very credible. But again, he's missing the point. The reason that movie did well was because of how it was marketed and because of how it was a decent movie. You can market a movie however you want, and it will not do well unless it fits a certain criteria. Now, we've seen an interesting movie recently, the Minecraft movie, which is not really a decent. People are saying it's a fun movie, but it's not like a huge plot-heavy movie.
I
But
thought it
it's doing
was.
well
I
because
thought it was a fine movie. Like, it wasn't like great. It wasn't.
But that's what I'm saying.
was
It's
fine.
a
It was, like,
fine movie, and it's got fun moments. So
Yep.
people want to do it for the viral meme capability thing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But Black Panther didn't have that. If Black Panther wasn't a good movie, it wouldn't have mattered how many black people you put in it.
Right. Kyle Barr says Black Panther was created by a Jewish guy. I know it was not a black person. I didn't know if it was a Jewish guy or not, but I mean, that's kind of one of those, they never want to talk about that part of it. They just want to talk about,
apparently it's one of the top 5 Marvel movies, so maybe that's what he intended.
okay. I could see that. Yeah.
Doing something right, and should be in that conversation because there is literally no argument you can make that is not based on fear in that scenario.
I just made a comment. I just made a response based on logic, and you don't like that either, clearly. But I just explained it and just made an argument about why you're wrong. And not only is it an argument, it's the truth. So
Right.
I am Kim Belair, and I'm on LinkedIn. Sadly, I'm also findable on Instagram. See if you can do it. Many people do, and I.
Hey, did you find her on Instagram? I'm sure.
Already
you did.
done.
Yeah.
It was easy to find you and your father and your brother. Yeah, I know everything about you, Kim. Sorry.
Team can be reached at Sweet.
That's not creepy at all.
I know way too much about her. Hey, put it this way. The fact that I know so much and she knows that I know so much because you removed Kim, you shouldn't have deleted the puppet show. That's all I'm going to say. You let me know I'm on to you. And the fact that I'm not blasting that out there means maybe I'm not as bad of a person as you think.
sweetbabyinc.com, or you can write to us at talk, TALK, at sweetbabyinc.com, whether you want to collaborate with us, whether you have questions for outreach, or whether you just want to know more.
Holy.
We survived.
Oh my God. I can't believe we did it. I'm so proud of us. Holy. But man, that was definitely
torture.
Yeah. I'm
sorry. The white supremacy thing was professionalism was, oh my God.
That was, that actually made it worth doing it just for that. Like that.
Well, that and the Kim stuff at the end was pretty good.
That was too. Yeah, that was true.